So once again, we'll be starting with our ogre character that we have been working on for the DVDs 1 and 2. The rig has been finished, and I'll just go and hide off the geometry for the character. And this is the base rig, basically the animation rig for all intents and purposes, if you want to think of it that way. We will be adding to this rig for more deformation in this series. We'll be adding some stretchy bones to help correct shoulder deformations and leg deformations, as well as adding an automatic belly bounce and working on some other areas. So the base rig is really where I start and get working so that I can start skinning the character. From there, the rig is actually quite a fluid thing. It grows as you start to skin the character, where you start to see problems and where you start working on it. I find that just diving in and trying to add all the stretchy bones right from square one isn't always the best solution, because you don't actually always know exactly where they're going to go. Once you're into the skinning process, you do, and you can work on it. Something in production I always like to make sure is that the person who's going to be rigging it will also be skinning the character, so that it isn't disjointed. I find that if you have one person trying to build the rig, one person trying to skin it, again there's a lack of communication often that happens, and the rig doesn't always end up doing exactly what's needed. And like I say, often you end up having to change or adjust it, add to it. So it's better if the person who actually rigs it, skins it, they know what they've done, they know why they've done it, and they know exactly what the skinning should be, how it should be working, and what steps they may, have planned to leave till the skinning process. The ogre hasn't changed much. I haven't done any extra work on him, but we'll start from here, and we'll start skinning the character and having him deform and work properly with this rig. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add the skin modifier. Skin modifier needs to be placed below the mesh smooth modifier. This is because mesh smooth is going to increase the amount of vertices in the model drastically and in this case that's I believe just a level 1. Our render level will actually look more like, as it waits and thinks, our render level is going to look more like this. We don't want to have to wait all these vertices, so it's far better that we actually put skin below mesh smooth in the stack and allow mesh smooth to increase the amount of vertices after we've skinned it, essentially. I'm going to pick editable mesh and add it above that. Our base model should be an editable mesh, as it's much faster than a poly model, as I've suggested. So as soon as we turn everything off, we know that we're not generating a poly model again to screen, which will slow our viewport down. The skin modifier has multiple rollouts. Just run through them quickly. First one is the parameters rollout. This is where we're going to add and subtract and work with our envelopes and our vertex weighting. Tools like the weight table and baking and painting weights. The next rollout is the mirror parameter. Mirror parameter allows us to be able to mirror envelopes and vertex weights from one side of the character to the other. We're able to do that with this character because it is a symmetrical character. If your character is going to be symmetrical, make sure it is actually symmetrical, that it isn't kind of just close. Make sure that your rig is symmetrical and it is exact. The mirror tool will work really easily and really well at that point. If you're not careful about this, you're going to have to increase thresholds to the point where it starts to guess at how the mirroring should take place, and you're going to find that the mirroring on your left side of your character isn't the same as the mirroring on your weighting on your right. Display rollout allows you to be able to work with the different display parameters for all of the features of skin. Advanced parameters, I'll get into more of this later. There's several things in here, but this is some various different tools. Gizmos basically allow us to be able to place things like extra deformers on elbows and joints to help them deform better once they've been skinned. You'll see where a straight skinning of a character doesn't work very well, and you actually have to add a lot more to it to be able to get it to deform properly, especially on a character like we're working with here.